few people want me to ask. These are my favorite cameras. People think I got gas because I got too many cameras. I'll remind some people that I sold off 4 cameras and a few lenses, all of which were copies, to purchase the GFX. You know, when I'm looking for a medium format digital camera for 3 years and I finally buy one, I don't exactly call that gas. I almost bought the Mamiya Leaf 2 years ago, and that was, at the time, the camera body was $2,500. Someone always calls me when I'm making a video. By the way, I'm wearing the shirt that my girlfriend bought me. Say thank you, Amy, for the shirt that you sent me. It fits. It's one of those nice mesh shirts. And of course, the day that it arrived, the temperature is like astronomically low. Like one of the coldest mid-Mays on record. So, no, I don't consider that gas, getting a GFX. By the way, funny story. The pictures that I was out shooting with the GFX today for a couple hours. Been so busy, a couple hours is all I had. I uploaded, I had been uploading raw plus fine shots. And of course, I've only had the camera for about 48 hours. And I could have been shooting in super fine plus raw. So, as spectacular as the enormous JPEGs are that are uploaded to Flickr, I mean, obviously it won't take the 150 megabyte TIFF files, and it won't take the raw files, obviously. I could have uploaded even better JPEGs. So that tells you something right there. It's like, it was a head slap moment when I went, dope! So anyway, these are my 4 favorite cameras. The cameras that it's like, you got too many cameras. Like, well, if I could only have 4 cameras. It's like, really? Actually, if I could only have 2 cameras, whatever I answer on the 2 camera thing, I'm going to end up pissing somebody off. They're going to go, well, the camera you didn't pick is the one I bought off your recommendation. Now I'm pissed. So if I said which 2 cameras, someone's going to be pissed. So I better not say that. Each one of these is unique and fills a niche, and this is the full spectrum of capabilities. So it's not by design, but by pure innate understanding of what these are capable of, that all 4 of these cover the full spectrum of photography. We're talking about sports, action, wildlife, portraiture. I don't do architectural. Some of it's fun, like street architecture, landscape, everything. Not really a landscape photographer either. But these cover everything. Nikon D500, it's got the glass, which none of the Fuji stuff does. It's also interesting to note that my 4 favorite cameras, 3 of them are Fujis. What about the Nikon D3? I still have my Nikon D3. I did sell off a couple extra copies of a D3. Yeah, I had 3 Nikon D3s, so, you know, its place is as solid as it ever was. But I mean, if I had to pick 4 of my favorite cameras, it's like, can I get rid of the rest, which leaves 8, still leaves 8 more cameras not shown here on the table. This would be a D500, Fuji X100F, Fuji X-T2, which is the only camera I took with me on my last trip to Florida, and the new GFX, which is absolutely, it made me cry. The camera's just goddamn mind-blowing. What does the Nikon D500 have that none of these Fujis have that make it stand out? Because this is the full spectrum. It has the huge glass, it has the insane high ISO performance, and it has a crazy buffer. None of these Fujis have that. I mean, that's a given. You know, it's undeniable. There's no camera that does it all. What does the X100F have? It's absolutely incredible. It's a leaf shutter camera. It's to go anywhere, do anything. You can put it in super silent stealth mode. It's freaking incredible. 3-stop ND filter, a real ND filter, built in. You can turn it off or on. Leaf shutter, which will sync at high speed sync with any damn flash out there. You know, you don't need anything special. All you need is a stupid trigger. You know, just a center pin fire command. X-T2, I think, since I was the first person making video reviews on the X-T2, made countless videos on the X-T2. I don't even know if I need to explain this. It's absolutely incredible. With the last firmware update, this really does deserve now legendary status as far as it being a legendary camera. All of these cameras, except for the Nikon D500, are made in Japan. Hey! The GFX, I mean, this is it. It's like, what do you... It's like I could talk about the specifications, why each one of these fulfills a certain spectrum. It's like, what would be the person if you were going to go on a boat? Like, I'd find a master captain. What if you were going to be flying? Well, I'd find a master pilot. What if you were going to go on a road trip? Well, I'd find a master driver. Each one of these things is literally, as far as photography is concerned, which is a very broad spectrum, like land, sea, air, road, essentially. I was trying to think of a really simple analogy. I had it in my brain, and it kind of slipped my brain there for a second. This is like when you write stuff down and you stick it on your iPad. I was going to make a reference to the fact that the D500 is the skinny little sprinter, that is quick on its feet. The Fuji GFX is like the 400-pound sumo wrestler. It's not fast, but when you want something done and mowed down completely and utterly, that's it. I mean, it's like, hey, GFX, we're going to pile drive this. We're just going to mow it down. Kind of like me, doing a belly flop on an anorexic person, right? So we have the sprinter. We have the skinny little agile sprinter. We have the gigantic sumo wrestler here. We have the track and field. What are those people that perform? It's like they have to be excellent in all these different things. I forget what it is. It's anyway, it's some goofy TV show, or no, triathlete. Excuse me. No, I was thinking of something else also like that, but like the XT2 would be the triathlete. And the X100F, I have to say this gently so not to offend anybody. The X100F is like a little person. You can't say midget anymore. It's like a little person who can pick locks and is a master of weaponry. Isn't there? Remember Fantasy Island? What's his face? I always loved that guy. The plane, boss, the plane! He was excellent to doing everything. Right now, you couldn't make that TV show right now because it'd be like, well, it'd be slanted against little people. I always thought, he was a really cool dude, and he was like the only reason to watch the show. He wasn't funny, he was awesome. He ended up being in a James Bond movie. He ended up committing suicide later. That's really sad. I forget what his name was. I think he was a Mexican-American little person, but he was really awesome. So the X100F is like the jack-of-all-trades little person. Like, because that little person was a knife thrower, and he could pick locks. He could do all sorts of stuff. So that's what the X100F is. So the triathlete, the jack-of-all-trades little person, the sumo wrestler, and like you ever seen the sprinters in the track and field? They're like, they got waists like this thin, yet their leg muscles are like enormous. These crazy genetically engineered humans that are like super skinny, but they got gigantic leg muscles, and they're only designed to do one thing. It's like run like a gazelle. That's what the D500 is. And if you actually think about it, that's a pretty accurate statement about these four cameras. And so these do fulfill the entire space. Like whatever you want, sports, action, wildlife, D500, boom. The absolute penultimate, drop your jaw and go, shit, that's awesome. Just huge ass images, incredible dynamic range, micro contrast, GFX. Jack of all trades, do anything and everything basically. Fuji X-T2. The stealth, the superstar, the awesomeness with leaf shutter, the X100F. Like I said, once again, it's kind of telling of Fujifilm Incorporated that three of the four of my favorite pick cameras are Fuji cameras. And I don't give a damn about mirrorless. It's like, well, they're all mirrorless cameras. I'm not. Mirrorless nonsense is as much nonsense now as what I'm only interested in superior made cameras that have an ecosystem, quality support, quality build, reliability. I don't give a damn if it's got a flappy mirror in it or not. This is a mirrorless camera. You know how huge and heavy this beast is, especially like with the 120mm f4? I mean, this honking mama. It's like, well, mirrorless is small. Yeah, not this. None of these are small. Well, the X100F is kind of small, but God, I'm really in love with the GFX. And I don't think I got gear syndrome buying this. I mean, I've been looking for a mirrorless digital, not a mirrorless digital, but just a medium format digital camera for years now. Some people are talking to me about the Pentax 645. That camera is $500 more, and it's like a plastic tinker toy. It's like, well, people really love it. It's like, yeah, what would I buy for $500 more? That plastic tinker toy, chew toy for a doggy, or this awesome magnesium beast made in Japan for $500 left, with more versatility, better ergonomics, better design, superior in every way, for $500 less. It beats the Hasselblad, it beats the Pentax, it beats the Mamiya Leaf, and it's cheaper than all of them. Yeah. Now, Fuji is no idiot, and neither am I. Medium format is a market about this big compared to, you know, the rest of this stuff, DSLRs and bridge cameras and whatnot. Medium format is not huge, but I mean, Fujifilm is going to crucify. Even though I've only been messing with this camera for a little over a couple days, Fujifilm is going to crucify everyone's ass once the word drops on this camera. It's been out for a couple months, but the only people who have been talking about it have been people who have been stroking the paint off of it for 2 hours, or some professional that got loaned it to them by Fujifilm for a couple days or a week or two. I mean, I know of a few people that own it, but I mean, really, nobody owns the camera. You're like, well, that's pretty expensive. Well, if you're a hobbyist, it is. I mean, I actually plan on putting this thing to work. You know, I didn't add this to add like another gear to my photography equipment. I mean, I'm going to put this damn thing to work. Seriously, put it to work. Make it pay for itself. Easily pay for itself. Some things easily do pay for themselves. Oh, it's expensive. It's like, well, does it pay for itself? Well, yeah, you'd have that. Nobody else would have it, and you'd have an edge and advantage on everybody. And it will spit out pictures that'll just make your jaw drop. So, yeah, I think it'll pay for itself. All the people that I told about the ABR 800 ring light, it's like, this thing pays for itself. Everybody that bought it is like, oh my God, I paid for this thing overnight. The images that it spits out, that the dual half-moon xenon tube ring light, the ABR 800, pays for itself. Just like that. Obviously, that's $400, and this is countless thousands of dollars, but get it insured and make it pay for itself. Some people are just rich hobbyists, too. I mean, if you're a rich hobbyist, you want to buy it and screw around with it, that's understandable, but my choice is incredibly well thought out and logical, and each one of these covers a certain bandwidth across the spectrum of photography, and they generally don't overlap, and this is the spectrum. So my choices were the spectrum, the full spectrum, and here they are. These are the full spectrum. The sumo wrestler, the triathlete, the anorexic but fat-legged runner, and the lock-picking, multilingual little person. That kind of makes it simple to understand these cameras that way, doesn't it? I think so. I like clear, lucid analogies. Otherwise, people don't get it. Like, I don't understand. Why, you know, isn't one camera enough? Well, yes and no. Thank you so much for watching. If you like these videos, you could drop me a buck or two, because I'm like making less than somebody that flips burgers. I'm pretty sure the guy spent 7 years in college, knows 6 languages, writes books, translates ancient Greek for fun, should generally be like, well, you just bought that expensive camera. Yeah, I saved up for it for 7 months, and I sold 4 cameras. I wish people would stop saying, you must be rich, you bought this camera. You don't know anything if you think I'm rich. Really, you don't. You don't. It's called making sacrifices. Have you ever seen me make a video from like some exotic place in Europe? Have you ever? Nope. It's like, hi, this is Ken, coming to you from Iceland or Switzerland or Germany or New Zealand or Australia. No. And then you're going to say, well, if you didn't buy that damn camera, you could have gone those places. Yeah, except I've been looking for a digital medium format for years. And I finally found one that's not only beats the hell out of the rest of them, it's cheaper than the rest of them. I mean, in my computer, let me type in my computer. Let's do the math on the GFX. Okay, cheaper than every other goddamn medium format camera. And better than every other goddamn medium format camera. Oh, that equals a deal. That equals a must buy. Now ask me again why I bought the GFX. I think that was abundantly clear. Right? Right. Увидимся, до свидания, пока, aloha, hasta luego, and good night. Yeah. Oh my God.